In the dead of night, while the rest of the world is silent, your mind is performing at its peak intensity. You are lying perfectly still, but internally you are running. This is rumination, an involuntary succession of past regrets and future what-ifs playing on a high-speed loop. You are trapped in a rehearsal of a conversation that happened years ago, or a catastrophe that hasn't happened yet. Your heart rate climbs, your muscles tighten, and your body floods with cortisol. This acute physical stress response keeps you in a state of high alert, making rest biologically impossible. The human mind is our most sophisticated tool for survival, but when it turns inward like this, it creates a self-imposed prison, using its own intelligence to build the walls. It is a frustrating contradiction. You are the one thinking these thoughts, yet you find it impossible to consciously command the brain to just shut off. Your own brain is autonomously generating the exact distress you are trying to escape. It feels as though the pilot has lost control of the cockpit. To break out of this cognitive maze, we have to look past the anxiety and dissect the ancient survival logic that built it. This isn't a glitch. Your brain is actively engaging a primitive survival mechanism designed to protect you from the unknown. To the primitive mind, uncertainty equals danger. To neutralize that danger, the brain frantically analyzes past events to predict and prevent future threats. This predictive modeling works well for physical survival, like spotting a predator, but it fails when applied to abstract modern worries. A single concern quickly branches out into this tangled web of worst-case scenarios. The brain gets stuck projecting these non-existent threats, treating an imagined social rejection or a work deadline as an immediate physical attack. Because the brain equates analyzing with safety, it intentionally drives the mind into overdrive whenever you face an unresolved problem. This creates a deceptive sense of productivity. You feel like you are working toward a solution, simply because the mental effort is so exhausting. The trap functions as a closed loop. A problem triggers thinking, which generates fear, demanding even more thinking. This cycle consumes your mental energy, thickening into a barrier that prevents you from taking real-world steps to fix the problem. Eventually, the need for absolute certainty leads to total decision paralysis. You are so busy calculating every variable that you cannot make a single move. Internally, you feel like you are running at full speed, but externally, you are completely stagnant, buried under the weight of your own variables. The search for perfect mental certainty is the very thing that guarantees your physical paralysis. Escaping this cycle requires a shift in strategy. You cannot solve overthinking by thinking more about it. You can only disrupt it through movement. Grounding yourself in the physical present breaks the abstraction. Touching the physical object or focusing on your breath forces the brain to process immediate sensory data instead of hypothetical futures. You must also limit the intake of new data. Reducing digital noise and external distractions starves the overthinking engine, giving it fewer what-ifs to process. Instead of waiting for clarity, you take a micro-action, the smallest possible physical step forward. This might be writing one sentence, washing one dish, or making one phone call. Physical execution begins to dissipate the anxiety. When the body moves, the brain receives a signal that the threat is being handled, which naturally lowers the stress response. Clarity is not the reward for finishing the mental puzzle. It is the result of grounded, decisive movement in the real world. The final step in dismantling the prison is radical acceptance, the willingness to exist alongside uncertainty without trying to fix it. If you stop fueling the thoughts with attention, the mental storm eventually runs out of energy. The fog clears, not because you pushed it away, but because you stopped stirring it. This reveals a core psychological truth. Thoughts are not objective reality. They are merely transient events happening inside your consciousness, like weather passing over a landscape. You do not need to control, organize, or solve every thought that enters your head. You can simply observe them and let them pass. You achieve freedom the moment you stop letting unverified thoughts dictate your physical behavior. When you abandon the demand for endless analysis, the mental pressure recedes, and you can finally engage with the world as it